Hello and welcome to our new series, Professionally Unqualified, where we are trying each profession for about 2 weeks at a time, see exactly how we feel about each one. That means every 2 weeks we're going to be spinning a wheel, we're going to see what we get, and that's what we're going to play for 2 weeks. Alright, we're spinning.
Again.
M's choice. Oh, damn.
Oh man, okay.
M's choice. What are you going to burn that on? The next profession we got is, well, it was Embry's choice. So she got to pick whatever she wanted, and she picked Necromancer. She's a Necromancer main, so that kind of made sense for her. So let's take a look at what Necromancer is all about and what we thought of this profession. Necromancer is one of the 3 light armor users, and it's the dark archetype that you kind of expect from the name. They use powers of the dead to deal damage and protect their allies. They're a very strong profession choice for every role, especially with their shrouds. It just gives them a ton of extra survivability, besides Harbinger, which kind of has its own unique thing going on. Necromancers focus heavily on their shrouds, which is essentially a new form for them. They swap their weapon skills, and you get shroud skills instead, except for Scourge, which is kind of the exception here. This is a very new player-friendly profession, so if you're new to the game, you can pick this one up, you can play. It's very good damage, lots of survivability, and it's just a fun profession overall. Necromancer does have 3 elite specs, the Reaper, the Scourge, and Harbinger, with Ritualist soon to come. But with that, I want to get into each elite spec separately, and just general pros and cons we had while playing. Just for reference, we spent 2 weeks on Necromancer playing all forms of PvE. This is open world, fractals, convergence, CMs, and everything in between. So this review is based solely on PvE, not world vs world or structured PvP. We don't generally play those modes a lot, so we don't have a good insight there. We'll do a recap on each elite spec, and then we'll get into how we felt while playing. Reaper gives Necromancer access to greatswords and a new Reaper Shroud, which lets you bring out a cool scythe, and you get to do a lot of AoE damage. Reapers also teach Necromancers how to yell at their enemies by giving you new shout abilities. These range from defensive skills, summoning some minions, and an elite that lets you freeze everything around you. It's a very strong skill to bring. Reapers are just pure DPS. They can either do power or condi, but generally you'll see them as a power DPS. They just kind of scale better that way. Overall, I'd say Reaper is one of the best elite specs there is for a new player, especially one who wants to do really good damage, even in endgame content. So like bringing this into raids, convergences, and fractals, you're still going to be a very strong player. Scourge is the Necromancer's only elite spec without a true shroud. Instead, you get access to shades, which are similar to wells, but you can also make them trigger different effects by using follow-up skills after you place it down. They're extremely good barrier providers and lots of heals from these. Scourges also gain access to the torch, which is generally a good offhand weapon to bring for condi damage, and some easy CC. They also get new skills called punishments, which are generally quite supportive contrary to the name. As a Scourge, you will be able to keep your teammates alive extremely well, as their shade will give the team constant barriers and heals. So this is great for teams looking to progress things because you get a ton of barrier, which can keep your team alive even in some rough hits. This is actually M's main because she just enjoys how simple it is to provide alack and boons. And with the new update to the Necro staff, it's even better for group content with a ton of AoE heals you can drop. Harbinger brings back the shrouds to the Necromancer, but in a kind of a unique way. It adds a new mechanic called Blight, which will gradually reduce your max hit points temporarily for a boost in damage, so it's a high risk to high reward kind of playstyle. Harbs will get access to a main hand pistol, which gives another ranged condi choice, and their new skills are called Elixirs, which will play into that Blight mechanic I mentioned earlier by giving you more effects if you're above a certain threshold of Blight. I actually played a lot of Harb during the 2 weeks because I really like the fast, chaotic playstyle, but I also generally just play quick DPS, which kind of made me gravitate towards Harbinger, that just pulses it from its shroud. It's very easy to provide. So how did we feel about Necro during our time playing them? Well, we kind of already knew we really liked Necro. It's a really strong profession that can do everything and do it very well at the same time. But here's a list of pros and cons and why we felt that way. These pros are in no particular order, just things we noted while playing. The Necromancer just has really good sustain. You can feel almost unkillable due to your second health bar from having Shroud, or just you always have available barriers and heals as a Scourge. This just made them really easy to play in endgame content. Scourge as a healer overall was just a big pro for this profession. Scourge's healing capabilities paired with its insane barrier and being able to give 100% alack very easily made it a really strong pick for harder content like Convergences, where you do have to do a lot of mechanics and keep your team alive at the same time. They can be literally any role. Necromancers can fill any role in the game. So if you're playing a Necromancer, you can fill any role that your team needs. You can just switch to that. This is especially true now with Harb having access to the staff, which has a lot of healing. So you can play a lot of quick heals with that. Very new player friendly. Necro just isn't overly complicated. You can pick this one up as a new player. You can get through most content no problem. It's a good one for new players to play. Harbinger is just overall a ton of fun with a really cool shroud, lots of damage. I really love the high risk, high reward playstyle with it. It's definitely one you should try if you haven't. The cons list was actually quite hard for Necromancer. It's overall just a good profession, but here's some things we noted. Minionmancer's just not a viable pick. Minions are a big part of Necromancers for players who played Guild Wars 1. They're really not used in endgame content here. They do fine in open world content. This is kind of an odd one, but convergent CMs were not a thing back when Blight came to the game. So now with having the mechanic of holding Essence that increases your damage but lowers your health, on top of having Blight, you just kind of become a one-hit target to most bosses. This is a very specific one, but there's a visual issue with the Sandstorm Shroud that makes the appearance almost identical to an enemy AoE with the color and the look of it, but none of the other shade skills have this look, so it can kind of make you panic in team fights. Necromancer has quite low mobility, so it kind of feels slow for some things. It doesn't really have any great mobility skills that you can access. Well, with all that said, I hope this gave you some insight into Necromancer and maybe made you want to check it out. It's a very good profession all around, very easy to pick up, very new player friendly. As a heads up, we are ArenaNet partners, so if you're interested in picking up the newest expansion, Visions of Eternity, our link will be below, and we appreciate every one of you who supports us. We're running a new profession every 2 weeks until we finish them all, so that we can give some insight to other players when they ask questions and help other players with useful advice on that profession. If you have anything you'd like to add, please feel free to leave a sub and drop a comment below. We do stream all of this over on Twitch, so if you want to check us out.
Listen.
You know what she's about.
I know, yeah, I know where I get my portals from, so I'm just going to not say anything.
That is the most, like, I know where my bread is buttered phrase, but for Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
I love it. That is, like, that might need to become a slogan for you. It's like, listen, I know where my portals come from.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
Please feel free to head over there. But with all that said, we will see you in the next video.
I guess that I was hoping I could break